Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. The Board of Selectmen did not meet this week, it being a fifth Wednesday this month. However, we have a good-sized meeting for next week. We've got some gift acceptances, a couple of appointments.
Gifts?
Gifts.
That happens a lot.
You know where it happens? Island Home and Saltmarsh Senior Center.
It's
People
just
love
people
to give them money.
Okay.
Little bits of money, not, we're talking $150 and $175.
Okay.
But people give them money. So they go into a gift account and they're used for certain things. So that's nice. So we do them once a month. Otherwise we'd be doing like $5 here, $10 there every week. An item that we have on next week's agenda is going to be an over-the-road permit for a house move that is scheduled for May 13th and 14th. Now this is a huge move. It's going from Sconset to Pine Tree Road, and we've had a lot of internal discussion about this move. It's going to be a pretty widespread power outage, including a lot of businesses along the route. So we felt that it was such a big deal that the board should weigh in on it. As an aside, town administration with the utilities and some of the movers, house movers, are coming up with some new guidelines about house moves for the board's adoption. They're not done yet. We're still getting input and working it through, but at some point soon we're going to be going to the board to ask them to adopt a new application and some new guidelines. We get a lot of feedback about house moves, and it's varied. There's people who feel that the house moves can save material from going to the landfill, and they can be economically easier for people. Rather than building a whole new house, they just move it from one place to another. However, depending on the size of the house and depending on where we're talking about, these moves can be very, very disruptive to people in a variety of ways. So we need to locate some kind of a balance here. And then there's another issue with HDC. Sometimes will say you can't tear down this particular house because of historic characteristics, but you could move it. So we need to figure out about if the HDC says that, then there needs to be some better communication perhaps between the town departments about whether or not the house can be moved.
It comes down to mostly the disruptive.
I think it comes down, it's disruptive. The utilities have told us that what we've heard from them, I haven't personally verified this, but I don't have no reason to disbelieve it, that the number of house moves on Nantucket are the highest in any of their communities. We move more houses than anybody else.
Especially lately.
Especially lately. So, and it's, you know, there's a lot of utility work that has to go into these house moves by moving the wires, and then there's an issue about when you move the wires repeatedly, it can weaken the poles, and there's a lot of issues. So we're trying to work them all through. Anyway, that's on the agenda for next week. We have 3 HDC appeals scheduled. One of them will hopefully be resolved by the time we get to next week. One of them is going to be, oh, sorry, I should take that back. One of them is going to be continued to May 21st, and the other 2 I think are proceeding.
None of them are the Widow's Walk. That is over.
I wouldn't say it's over, but it's over at the Board of Selectmen's level.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, then that was quite an interesting HDC appeal. You can go back and look at it online if you want.
It is funny.
We have some discussion about the Sconset Beach Preservation Fund as part of their agreement with the town to install the erosion control project partially on town property. There's an ESCO agreement that was required that's now finally been dealt with, and we're going to review that with the board.
What is that?
It's an agreement an escrow agreement whereby the Sconset Beach Preservation Fund will put money into an account that would potentially be used later for remedial actions if the project fails or causes problems. So we're going to review that. There's also, we had a little bit of discussion about this maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. There are some state proposed zoning changes. For example, there's a proposal to change the quorum of a vote for zoning changes at town meeting from 2/3 to a majority vote. And there's been some local discussion about that. So in any case, the board it wasn't an agenda item when we last talked about it. It just came up under committee report. So it's a specific agenda item now, and hopefully we'll have people from planning coming in to explain just exactly how the legislation would potentially affect Nantucket.
Does that have anything to do with the Old South Market? Is the
No.
timing with that have
No,
anything
it's
to
just
do with
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's
right.
not specific to that at all. Those are some of the items on our agenda next week. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of activity going on in the downtown area with the movie.
that? Oh, yeah. Both movies? They're still going on?
I'm not sure about the other one.
Okay, but the new one, the John Shea one is
The
going
John
on.
Shea movie is very active. People see it around. It's kind of cool to watch a movie in action.
Yeah.
You don't get to see that every day,
No,
at
you
least
don't.
here. So that's interesting. And I have an unpleasant topic to talk about. It's called dog waste. And I hate to even say those words, but dog owners, we love you. And I think the majority of you are very good at cleaning up after your dog and disposing of your dog's waste properly. But some of you are terrible at it. And you really need to understand that people don't want to see that stuff. It's a little bit like, I'm not saying it's exactly the same situation, but you know how when other people are on their cell phone, it's so incredibly annoying, but when you're on your cell phone, it doesn't seem that bad. When other people's dogs do their business around, it's pretty gross, but when your dog does it, oh, it's not so bad. In any case, there are areas of the island where dogs are known to be freely walked, and some of those areas are public and have trash receptacles, some don't, and we're trying to get areas bagged so that there are bags available for your mess. And but regardless of that, you ought to be responsible enough to locate your own bags and pick up after your dog. So there's a couple of areas where there isn't a trash can and bags are just left there. So you take your dog on your walk, he does his business, and you leave the bag there. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
What makes you think that's okay? For those of you who are doing it, and again, I think the majority of people are very good at the cleanup because it is a real problem. So I just want to say, please take the time to remove that stuff so the rest of us do not have to see it or smell it or deal with it in any way whatsoever.
Speaking of cleanup,
Yes.
I noticed on our crawl, Clean Team is back in action.
Clean Team's back in action. They are meeting this Saturday at Cumberland Farms,
That's right.
out of town Cumbies, and they're going to fan out from there. I am going to try to make it this weekend. I wasn't able to make it last weekend because I was off island. And I have an event this Saturday, so I'm not I'm going to try to make
We should say
it.
it's Saturday, which is tomorrow, so this is going to run longer. The
So
following
the following
Saturday, do you know where that one is
I
too?
forget. I don't remember.
right.
But I'll
But check the crawl, we'll have it on.
check the crawl, and also go to at cleanteam.org, ACKcleanteam.org. And
Oh,
there
good.
should be a schedule up there. Hopefully there is. I haven't checked it lately. So yes, Clean Team, back in action. That is awesome. What else? There was something else I was going to mention. Now I already forgot what it was, because of course I didn't write it down. I guess it was the house move thing.
All right.
So movie weather is getting better.
Yep.
Maybe, hopefully, it'll be a great weekend. Possibly, knock on wood. And it's just gonna all be good from here. It's all getting better.
Oh, I can't wait.
I know, me either. What else? Anything?
That's it, Libby.
That's it. Okay. Thanks very much. See you next time.